Taoiseach, I also want to ask about when is the referendum that the government promised on the right to housing and inserting that into the Irish Constitution going to take place? And are you going to renege on your promise to have that referendum during the course of this government, or are you going to keep that promise? I have no doubt that you may say, because you certainly said in the past, that inserting a right to housing in the Constitution does not solve the housing crisis. And before you say it, of course, we all understand that that is the case. To solve the housing crisis, we need to very, very dramatically upscale the delivery of public and affordable housing. We need to, in our opinion, control rents and make them affordable. We need to protect tenants against unfair evictions. We need to take far more robust and radical measures to deal with the scandal of vacant and derelict property. We need to deal with the problem of vulture funds exploiting the housing crisis for their own ends, all of which you have largely failed to deliver. But a right to housing would put very significant additional pressure on a government to ensure that it was a priority for the government to use its resources to ensure that everybody had as a basic right the thing which people need to simply function in society, which is a secure and affordable roof over their head. And that would be an imperative for any and all governments to ensure that that was the case. So are we going to have this referendum? And when? Because apart from anything else, to be honest, it would be a welcome opportunity to force a national debate on this issue and to hear the views of the people in this country who are impacted by this crisis.
Thanks, Deputy. Just in relation to the questions asked about the referendum on housing, in line with the commitments in the programme for government and Housing for All, a new housing plan for Ireland, the Housing Commission, was established by the government in December 2021 to independently examine and review the housing system in Ireland. The Housing Commission submitted its report, proposed wording for an amendment to the Constitution and recommendations to the Minister in August. The report and the next steps are currently being considered, and the Minister will bring these to government in due course. A minority report from 2 members of the Commission has also recently been received only in the past few days. Neither have gone to government yet, and I think the Joint Oireachtas Committee on Housing will want to consider the 2 reports as well. Just to restate in the House that I support a housing amendment to the Constitution, provided it's a good one, and I strongly believe that any housing amendment has to make it easier to build homes. Otherwise, it'll be meaningless. And we see too many planning permissions for new homes being struck down the courts. And I think a strong housing amendment could tip the balance in favour of the courts approving these planning permissions rather than striking them down on various different grounds. And that's a litmus test for me when it comes to any housing amendment. If it just creates a new right to sue for compensation, well then I think that's problematic. I don't want to see the housing budget being diverted into compensation payments or housing officials spending their time managing litigation when they should be managing projects that build houses. Just in relation to neutrality, there are no plans for a referendum on neutrality. Ultimately, we believe that matters of foreign policy and defence policy should be made by government and the Oireachtas and not by the courts. There is no clear definition of neutrality. It means different things to different people. To me, it means not joining a military alliance. I know to Deputy Murphy it means something else. To other people it means something else again. And I think that's one reason why it wouldn't be a good idea to put something like that in the Constitution.